here we are. Probably the last time you'll see me not a hot mess for a little bit. Look at all this crap in the back. Holy wow. Road trippin', road trippin'. Hey guys, welcome back to Thoughtful Ramblings. It's awesome, so awesome to be back in the beautiful wonderment, oh my coffee, that is Rhode Island. Hey now, thank you guys. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for following me and all that great stuff. So yeah, today we're hitting up that road trip. But don't you worry, like I have pictures and little videos and all kinds of awesome stuff. You might want to hit up my YouTube channel. Yeah, I got one, Thoughtful Ramblings. And I'll have all the pictures and all the little fun stuff displayed, strewn throughout the podcast. So that's going to be awesome. This time, it feels really good to be back in my little office all by my lonesome. Good times. I not that I don't like talking to people and having interviews or having people in here when I record or do my thing, but it's nice when it's just us, right? I know. I agree. I concur. So anyway, yeah, I'm trying to look at myself with these headphones. I don't know. That's the thing too. Like I'm looking at myself while I'm recording. That can mess with your head. But I did it so I could see the time and all that good stuff. So there's a ton going on in the Rogers house. All right. Let me just prep you all for that. The last podcast was my daughter. We were getting ready to I don't want to say ship my daughter off, but we pre-recorded that last episode so we'd have a little time to get that road trip happening because it takes a little while to drive from Rhode Island to Florida. If you do not know, it's about a 24-hour drive straight through, about 19 hours straight through to my son and my daughter-in-law, Rachel. Oh my gosh. If he listens, I'm going to totally hear it for a million years after that. My son-in-law. I'm prophesying. I'm prophesying for that son-in-law. Hey, you know who you are. Get it. Anyway, so yeah, we left Rhode Island at 3 a.m. last week. Man, this, it's a lot going through my head, and as my, what I can't stand. I should have shut my notifications off because here I am looking, and I'm seeing all these texts. No one texts me ever, or messages me ever, or has anything to say to me, or gets back to me until I am doing something like this, and then it's like, what? So anyway, we left the house last week. I think it was last Wednesday. I'm not sure now. I don't know. Oh, sorry about that. That's me sniffling. Why do road trips or vacations make me like all stuffy? I don't know. Make me stuffy and constipated. Like everything gets blocked up inside me from my head to my butt to everything else. I'm blocked. Am I the only one that happens to? Hit me up. Let me know. Anyway. So yeah, we picked up Sam. We didn't have to pick her up too far from here. She literally was living right down the hall from us for the past year, which has been really awesome. What a blessing. And that God knew that my heart just needed a little bit more time before that. I don't even like saying the word goodbye because, as my eyes start to fill up and mess with my glasses and get me. You thought I was sniffling before? Oi! You ain't seen nothing. So we're all ready to go. Now Sam is, she has a ton of friends, a ton of blessings up here in New England. So many people love her, and so many people wanted to spend time with her before she left, and she did. That was the majority of her time spent. Me, I am like an organizer. We got to get everything all set before, but hey, whatever. You live your life, okay? But she did things a little differently. So she kind of waited till the last day and was up all night packing and getting everything together, right? Hey, not an official sponsor, Duncan, but you could be. Let me know. Hit me up, because delicious. Today it's delicious. Not always, but today it is. Anyway, so you show up at our house at 3 a.m, which was the plan, and we head over, Eric and I, and we arrive to see a very wide-eyed Sam. Now, Sam doesn't really cry much. She doesn't wear her emotions on her sleeve like her mother does. She tends to, keep them on a shelf till she's alone, and then, let it go. So when we showed up there to see her eyes giant, standing in front of all of these boxes at 3 a.m, mind you, all of these things that she still had to do. How am I going to fit this all? What am I going to do? So we're like, you know what? What do you need? Take what you need, fill your car with what you need. Whatever the overflow is, we just put in our apartment for now. I think I mentioned this a lot, how my nose starts to get really runny when I do this. I don't know why, but excuse me. Lady schmatey, am I right? Come on. Who wants that old stuffy stuff? So, but when we get there, she looked so lost, so sad. It was like finally hitting her, the excitement has been there all along, but when you go on to something new like that, it's so awesome, and you can't help but, look forward, and it's like, wow, like all the things that are going to happen, and this is going to be so awesome. But the goodbyes are tough. Dang it. Yeah. So we helped her load up her car. We stuffed ours full for her too. I drove down with Sam. Eric and the dogs led the way. So we took off, and it was a lot of fun. I have some little driving clips that I'm going to be showing right up in here. Hey, if you're listening on the pod, you might want to check out the YouTube channel. I don't know if you want to see what it was like for us. If not, that's cool. I'll do my best to auditorily paint a picture. Doesn't that sound nice? Is it just me, or is this microphone like really loud 1 minute and then really not the next? Maybe it's just my headphones. I don't know. I'm kind of doing this a little halfway today, if I mean. So we leave, and we're driving, and she's so excited, and I'm so excited to be there for her, and this new thing. It was so exhausting, because as her mom, I don't want her to see me crying. I don't want to like make her feel bad or feel sad as I'm crying now. Maybe I've just bottled it all up until this very moment. So I could sniffle all over my equipment and perhaps electrocute myself. We don't know what's going to happen. It really is flying by the seat of my pants here. Gosh, my husband wore these things. Now they're all stretched out. Just kidding, honey. My headphones. I was referring to my headphones. They are sliding down. I do have a weird little head, as far as size comparison to other heads go, I think. But see, thoughtful ramblings. So we drove, and I wanted to be supportive. I want to get her excited about what's to come, because now we're literally driving away from everything she's known. We're in the car and we're driving away from, the family that she loves and supports her to no end. Her friends, she's got so many friends. Her awesome church. Shout out to His Providence in Swansea, Mass. they're just amazing. Her job that she loved, her apartment that was so cute, her roommate who's just a doll, and watched my cats while I was gone. Thank you so much, Tori. You are amazing. And I may have to hit you up again soon. Just kidding. Or maybe not. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen, really. I'm all set with planning stuff from here on out. It just doesn't all seem to go the way you think sometimes. But anyway, I'm like, if I saw her, in the passenger seat, like shutting her eyes for a minute, I'd be like, oh, good, I can let out some of this emotion. And then, I'd try to suck it all back in before she noticed, because I don't want to make her feel bad. I don't want to, she's sad enough leaving all of this. And man, it's so hard. I think that's one of the hardest things about being a parent. You want to be like that supportive. You got this, you got this, you got this. And then turning around and crying in a room by yourself. Right? That might not be the hardest for you, but it's certainly the hardest for me, whether it's getting your kid on that bus for the first time for kindergarten, or they're heading off to college, or they're starting a new thing in a new state and they're like rolling out, whatever it is. Those times have been just like this weird struggle for me, where you're like, oh yeah, you got this, it's gonna be so awesome, but you don't want to see your baby go, anyway, I'm very thankful for those 19 hours in the car to my son's house. We all drove there, and we decided that would be a really nice little pit stop on the way to Florida. We could stop there. They could have a mini visit, and then from there we would drive to Orlando, where Sam was going to be staying. And I thought too, like, if we could show her, in real time, just it's not that, after a 19-hour drive, a 4.5-hour car drive is nothing. So the next, I think we waited the next day or the day after. We did. We hung out and visited for a day, and then the next day we went to Florida, and it was pretty great. We got that time with Eric and Rachel. We got to hang out with them. Did a little mini podcast with those two. We're going to be playing that one next. Kind of sandwich it up like this whole road trip. This one here is pretty much me, in my sadness and. Just some little clippets of us getting to Florida with Sam, and making sure she was all settled. So leaving Eric and Rachel wasn't too bad, because, those guys, me and Eric were coming back to see them on our way back from dropping off Sam. So it wasn't like, it was nice not having a tough goodbye for a change with Eric, especially this trip, because I couldn't handle 2 tough ones. But the Lord knows, I believe he only gives you as much as you can handle. And I'm thankful I'm so sensitive. I always got a tough ride about that growing up. You're so sensitive. You're just too sensitive. You just take things because you're so sensitive. Well, you know what? I'm happy I'm sensitive. I love that I'm sensitive, because I'm sensitive to other people's feelings and my own. And I think that's okay to grieve, to mourn for seasons that have passed. Yeah, my daughter's still alive and well, thank you, Jesus, and I trust him with her. But it's not the same. She's not here. She's not in the apartment. Like when I'm out walking the dogs now, I don't, get the random drive-bys of her. Hey, I don't get the, look up and be able to see in her window if she's there, see if her car is here, if she's home, and maybe she'd want to grab a coffee or something, like little things like that. It's, I'm going to miss that a lot. She may not have been under our specific roof. Oh gosh, get so phlegmy from my emotions make me phlegmy. See what I mean? Horrible. What a freaking nightmare. But anyway, so we got back in the car, we got all Sam's stuff heading on down to Orlando after leaving Eric and Rachel's house. And then it was like, okay, Sam, now you can see what the drive will be like to connect to your brother and Rach if you want to kind of get out of Dodge for a minute and, just connect with the fam, Her and her brother have been, and Rachel have all been best friends for a really long time. So that's a blessing in and of itself. I'm really stoked about that they have a really good relationship. Solid, Anyway, so yeah, we took off and we're driving and it was great, But I'm going to say one of the highlights was as we were just on the Florida-Georgia line, or, you're now entering Florida, Sam started getting a little like, oh my gosh, it's getting real. Like, here it is. It's really real. Like, here it is. And as her, I could see like she was getting a little ramped up. You know what I mean? And while she's getting ramped up, I'm like, kind of trying to not distract her, but, have her take her focus off of, that was and what it's going to be. Like, there's so many possibilities. This is going to just be awesome for her, and all these different things. But it wasn't me that turned that frown upside down. It was a little beaver named Bucky. I'm going to tell you a little something about Bucky the beaver. There is this gas station called Buc-ee's, and it's down south. I know it's I believe it's just eastern south. I don't know where these are. I should have Googled this stuff beforehand. But these Buc-ee's gas stations are like a Walmart superstore. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. There had to have been 40 gas pumps. The place was huge. I'm going to throw up some video clips of this. They even had a Bucky that we could take a picture with. Huh? I know, right? And if you guys are just listening, you're missing it. You're missing the whole. I think my favorite part about the Buc-ee's mascot was the fact that the half of their hair was hanging out of the back. Which I just thought it was dull, and I loved that. So anyway, Sam has always wanted to go to Buc-ee's. This has been a thing of hers, like on her wish list since my son left for the military. Since Sam knew what Buc-ee's was, Sam has wanted to go. So, she's starting to feel a little down, and man, we saw that sign. Buc-ee's, next exit, 20 miles or whatever it was. Praise God. God always knows, right? Thank you, Jesus, for Buc-ee's. So, I got you could see that the sign of the store coming up in the distance. It was one thing when you see the little sign on the highway, but then the sign for the actual place we could see off in the distance. I start snapping pictures. I'm getting all kinds of excited. You know what? I'm doing this without these. I'm taking them off. Right? Here I go. Free balling. That's what they call that. Those are my headphones. They're annoying the heck out of me. Jeez Louise, for the price. You'd think they'd make them a little bit more comfortable. Whatever. So we get to, we see the distance. We're like, oh man, it's really there. It was literally Sam's promised land of gas stations. And mine too, unbeknownst to me. I knew it would be special. I knew it would be pretty great. But I had no idea. That place is amazing. If you ever get a chance to stop at one of these things, it's pretty great. Although it is crazy crowded. It was almost like people in the area go there for something to do. They had like a huge sandwich kind of deli counter thing. People, chicken sandwich for number 429. And like it was crazy. I've never seen anything like it. Why didn't I buy anything, you ask? I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe I did it to get me back down there, to have me, to draw me back to visit Sam just a little bit sooner than not, because that was a pretty cool place to visit, and Sam was so excited about that, and I'm so glad I took so many pictures, and because it was just great. So we get in the car, we fill up bellies, we fill up our gas tanks. Oh, hold up, now I'm about to fill up my coffee hole. Delicious. So we get going, and we start seeing the signs for Orlando. Now Orlando's huge. Do you guys know? If you know, Orlando's huge. It's like Rhode Island, only bigger. It's just enormous. But we saw the sign entering Orlando. I guess it's like a county, or I don't know what it is. I don't know how they do stuff, but it's huge. So we're following the GPS to where we need to go, and we're going through some pretty sketchy areas. If you know, Orlando isn't just where Mickey Mouse lives. There happens to be a lot of homeless and heroin addicts living there as well. Not really what you want to see when you're dropping your kid off 1,500 miles away from where you are. And not that they're not here. I mean, oh my gosh, I've almost stepped on needles right outside. There's all kinds of, we live in Warwick, for crying out loud, like right in the middle, right next to the Warwick Mall. It's pretty gross, but beautiful. Kind of like Orlando, pretty gross, but beautiful. Like, yeah, there's a guy that's, not doing that. That doesn't seem like he's, what's the word? A good person. I don't want to, like, up to no good, like you see a lot of characters. I know when I went into one of the gas stations after dropping Sam off, I know I'm fast forwarding a little bit, but there was, this police officer standing outside. I didn't realize where I was. I was pretty much grief stricken at that moment. But as I'm walking in, like, he had the bulletproof vest. He had guns, and I was like, wow, he looks very prepared, not like here, but I was like, wow, this guy's ready for something. Like, what's going on? But no, it's just patrol. Anyway, we kind of snake around a little bit, and we end up in this little neighborhood kind of off in the way, and we're pulling up, and it's this little duplex house, and the half of the side that Sam and her friends are going to be living in, the garage door was wide open, and I'm like, my gosh, is that where they're staying? Like, that's unnerving. Like, someone could have gotten in the house. Like, but as we pulled up a little closer, beyond, up to, I don't even know why I'm trying to make it sound better than that. Upon further inspection is what I was trying to say, but I screwed that all up. And so as we pull into the driveway, we kind of get out. No, we did get out and start checking everything out. And we're like, what's going on with this garage? And there's a man sitting in it. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And he was a nice man. He was such and I got that sense about him right away. He's had a very thick sounded like an African accent. And he's like, excuse me in my broken English, but he was there to show Sam around the place, kind of get her acclimated, to everything in the home. And he gave us a tour of the house. Oh, I'm going to show pictures. What? Sam was sharing one of the rooms in the house with her best friend, Brittany. You guys remember Brittany? Brittany was on the show. She's so sweet. Her and Sam are down there now. And her and Sam are sharing a room. And so we start bringing in all Sam's stuff, right? And there was a lot. There was almost probably, I'm gonna say maybe more than she should have brought. She literally had like 18 sweaters. You know those like sucky bags that you buy? You fill them with whatever you want and then you suck the air out of them. She had one of those, one of the like extra large ones. How about the size of a fridge? You look at a fridge, the frontage of a fridge, that's like the size of one of these bags once you suck all the air out. I think probably weighed like, I don't know, a few pounds, considering it was just sweaters. But she's literally in the middle of Florida. She's got, stuff like that, which I love about it. I really am just really, I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny as heck because we were telling her, and I was even saying like, hey, I'll take some of those sweaters off your hand. No, I want them all. I want everything. Well, guess who doesn't have room for everything? It was literally like so you walk in this little tiny bedroom and there's a queen size bed over here, queen size bed over there, and a closet for two young women to share. That's it. Which is great. It's all they need, right? It's all any of us need, really, but we're just so consumed with stuff in our culture. And so we stayed with Sam. The big thing I wanted to do, and I know this sounds crazy, but I really wanted to make her bed cozy. So we pulled off like the Airbnb type linens that were on the bed, and we put her sheets on the bed, and we put her blanket on there and her pillows, and so no matter what she had done in the day, she'd have someplace cozy to turn to in the end of the night. Can you guys hear that? That's my AC. That thing's struggling. There's some struggle happening on this unit. You can't see it, but if I can hear it that loud, you probably could too. It almost sounds like the ocean. I don't live anywhere near the ocean. Well, maybe 15, 20 minutes, but that's about that. Not enough where you could hear it anyway. So we got her all set, and we went out for dinner. Gosh. And then we drove back, and my husband was like, when you come out of your street, do not turn left. You'll end up right in the projects, or wherever he said, don't turn right. I can't even remember. I hope Sam remembered, for crying out loud, but he's like, you don't go that way. Always go this way. And I'm like, because it was sketch. The area, like literally you come out of the street, and it was some pretty sketchy characters. We had dinner. Sam was just sad. Like the grief hit, for all of us. We didn't want to cry. I don't think anyone wants to, but maybe sometimes, like if someone that you aren't really fond of passes away, but you want to show that you cared. Maybe that's the only time you want to cry. But yeah, so we went out to dinner, and after we got her all settled in, came back to the house, and we put on iCarly. Come on, iCarly, Sam, really? That's what you're putting on? It brings me right back to when I had a 7 and a 9-year-old, Whatever. Anyway, Sam's friends were going to be arriving that night in the airport, and Sam was going to be going to pick them up. So she had to leave to go and do that. So my husband and I had to leave. Ugh, it's hard. I bawled my eyes out the whole way back to little Eric's house. She looked so sad when we were leaving her. She just like, oh no, it's really happening. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be okay. Like, you could just see it on her. I wasn't okay for a little bit. I'm okay though. It's so it was a super tearful goodbye. She left to go pick up her friends for the airport, and Eric and I left to go back to little Eric's house. And I cried and cried, and I'm like, text me when you get to the airport, because it was like I said, a little unnerving. Text me when you get home from the airport. She didn't text. I texted. It's like, are you home yet? What's going on? Oh, we're all shopping together for food, and oh, they're so nice, and this is wonderful. So she was all set. I wasn't so much. And I think it was like, the enemy really can do a number on your psyche. When we left Sam's house, like literally left, we're driving up, getting ready we had to stop at a gas station before we left again, but we're at this red light. This little Spanish kid, he was probably like 14, young kid. He's got all those roses. We all see them at red lights every now and again. You know what I mean? Like, you want to buy rose? And it's making me want to this story is making me want to put cash in my car all the time. And I will be doing that right after this podcast, and after I go to the bank, and after I get some cash, and then put it in there. Anyway. So we're at this red light. Kid comes up to our car. I'm broke. I'm like, not just broke money wise, but broke in spirit too. And I'm like, I'm sorry, honey, I don't have any money. Because he came up to our window, and then he goes up to the car behind us, and the car behind us grabbed all his flowers and starts handing them all out to everyone in the car. And then they hand the kid back one flower, and the kid's kind of looking at it and goes like, what the heck? And then they drove away. And I was like, that was one of the meanest things I've ever seen. Like, I couldn't believe that they would just do that just to be mean. Call me naive or what you will. But what? I can't even, yeah, it was so mean, and I felt so bad for the kid. And like I said, if I had cash in that moment, I would have run up and given him something, because I felt horrible, felt so bad. But I think the thing that hit me was, oh my gosh, where did I just drop my daughter off at? Like, what? But God is good all the time. And I think that moment was like, the enemy was trying to make me fearful and make me doubt God's goodness. But it ain't gonna work. Not today, Satan. We weren't even halfway to Eric's, and she's already over the moon with her new friends, and her new life, and her new beginning, and her new thing. And I couldn't be happier or prouder of her. That was a big leap of faith. It was big faith, and that's what it takes. If you want those big miracles and those big moves of God in your life, those big things, you have to have big faith. And not just big faith, but you got to move in that big faith. And I think that's Sam moving in it and doing the hard thing, that's when the blessings come. I don't know why God requires those hard things from us, but he does. He'll often put a crossroads, and you gotta pick and choose and do and move. And I've cried a lot this past week. I'm crying a lot now. I'm sure I'll keep crying. And I'm sure when I go to visit Sam and Brittany and the other girls that are living in their house, I'll cry some more when I leave then. But I am just so, I love it. I love that big faith. I love it. And I'm going to move in that too. I hope that, I can't wait to see what comes out of it, honestly. There's no, I hope that Jesus stays at the center of it all in my life, in her life, Brittany's, and those girls that living in the house, and they're so on fire for the Lord that it's so good. It's so good. And I'm just really thankful in this season, but the season's hard as heck. And, just walking by her apartment, and there's that, she has this mat that her and her friend bought when they first moved in there. It was this Halloween mat. Well, like, I should be showing it right here. It's just a skeleton kind of laying on its side like, hey, welcome. And I passed by it and I just wanted to start crying. But good tears, it's all good. God is good, and it is so good, but man, it is so hard. So I want to encourage you. Hard things can often lead to great things. Oh, you know what? It wouldn't be a podcast if my animals didn't start acting a fool. Can you hear that? Well, anyway, so next podcast, I got some really great clips from talking to Eric and Rachel. We're going to show a little of that. We're going to talk a little bit more about some cool, awesome surprises that happened on the road. Didn't someone turn 50? Yes, someone did. But this wasn't about me. This was about Sam. And, but, don't worry. It all comes back around and you'll get more Michelle very quickly. Next week, perhaps. We'll see. Because, that's how I do. Oh my gosh, that dog is so loud. I hope that's not bothering you. It's bothering me. She stopped though. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Thanks for listening to my woes. And sharing this story with me. It's pretty great. I can't even believe where we've been brought from and where we're going to, because he is doing great things. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. You want to subscribe? I'd totally appreciate that. And if you don't want to subscribe, whatever. That's fine too. I really don't care. Right? But my gosh, now I'm all in my feelings. I don't even know what I was saying anymore. I'm saying bye. I'm saying see you later. I'm saying see you next week. See you next Tuesday when we'll be on Thoughtful Ramblings. It's going to be awesome. I love yous. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.
If you'd be so kind as to subscribe at iTunes or Spotify. Yeah.